World Numismatic Finds proudly presents an exciting look into some of Britain's hidden treasures, the UK Sixpence coins. These fascinating pieces from 1955, 1958, 1960, 1964, and 1965 may look aged, rusty, or even a little dirty, but don't be fooled, they hold remarkable history and surprising collector value. Whether it's the fine 1955 coin, the double-shaded 1964 gem, or the rusty 1965 classic, each carries a story of Britain's past and could be worth far more than you think. Keep watching. Your next sixpence could be a small coin with a big payday. Let's begin with the United Kingdom 1965 sixpence coin. Though the one we're looking at today may be in a rusty condition, don't be fooled by appearances. This coin carries a legacy that continues to captivate collectors and enthusiasts around the world. It's a coin that tells a story of tradition, craftsmanship, and the final chapters of an era that defined British coinage for generations. The 1965 sixpence coin was one of the last to be struck before decimalisation, marking the end of Britain's centuries-old pre-decimal system. This small yet mighty piece of metal was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, showcasing her youthful portrait on the obverse, or head side of the coin. Designed by Mary Gillick, the portrait is a timeless depiction of the young queen, wearing a laurel wreath instead of the crown that would later appear on her decimal coins. It symbolised a nation looking forward with optimism, grace, and continuity. On the reverse, or tail side, the design features an intricate floral arrangement by William Gardner, a Tudor rose at the centre surrounded by the thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. It's a perfect embodiment of the United Kingdom's unity, delicately captured on a coin that fit in the palm of your hand. Historically, the sixpence held a special place in British culture. Beyond its face value, it carried immense sentimental worth. For generations, it was considered a token of good luck, often slipped into Christmas puddings, bridal shoes, or given to children as a charm for prosperity. By 1965, Britain was changing rapidly, with modernization sweeping through every aspect of life, yet this little coin remained a comforting link to heritage and tradition. Even as decimalisation loomed in 1971, people continued to treasure the sixpence as a keepsake, a lucky charm, or a reminder of simpler times. The 1965 sixpence was struck in cupronickel, replacing the older silver issues that were phased out after 1946. It weighed approximately 2.83 grams and measured 19.41 millimeters in diameter, compact but beautifully detailed. Despite being common in circulation at the time, its design, metallic luster, and craftsmanship made it stand out among smaller denominations. Many of these coins were well loved and heavily used, which means that finding one in pristine or even fine condition today is becoming increasingly rare. The one we have here, with its rusty or tarnished surface, is still a part of that historical lineage, and for collectors, even a worn example can hold tremendous sentimental and collectible value, especially if it still bears legible details of the Queen's portrait and the symbolic floral pattern. When it comes to rarity and collector demand, the 1965 sixpence holds an interesting position. While not as scarce as some earlier Victorian or pre-war issues, its age and historical context make it a desirable addition to any British coin collection. Coins in very fine or uncirculated condition often draw higher interest from numismatists, but even those in poorer states, such as rusty or tarnished examples, still attract attention for their authenticity and nostalgia. The beauty of coin collecting lies not only in perfection but in the story that each piece tells, and the 1965 sixpence is no exception. Its link to pre-decimal Britain, its association with Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, and its charming design ensure that it remains highly regarded across the numismatic world. In today's collector market, the value of a 1965 sixpence can vary based on its condition and appeal. A rusty or circulated coin typically sells for a modest amount, often between $1,000 to $3,000 in the American market, but a coin in fine or extremely fine condition can fetch anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000, and proof or uncirculated versions can reach even higher depending on demand and presentation. Some collectors even pay more for coins with unique toning or distinct signs of age that add character to their collection. The demand for coins from the 1960s, particularly those featuring early portraits of Queen Elizabeth II, continues to rise as time passes and as collectors worldwide seek to preserve these small yet significant pieces of British history. For those interested in collecting sixpence coins, a few tips can make all the difference. Always handle coins by the edges to preserve their detail and avoid cleaning or polishing them, as this can reduce their value dramatically. Store them in dry, acid-free holders to prevent further rusting or corrosion, especially for coins already showing age. Keep an eye on coin fairs, estate sales, and online marketplaces where undervalued examples can occasionally be found. And most importantly, collect with passion and curiosity, because every sixpence tells a story that's far greater than its size or metal content. In conclusion, the 1965 UK sixpence coin is a true testament to British heritage, a tiny emblem of unity, tradition, and royal history. Even in rusty condition, it retains its charm and continues to hold both emotional and collectible value for enthusiasts. Its design, symbolism, and connection to the last years before decimalization make it a remarkable find for any collector's cabinet. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting out, holding a 1965 sixpence is like holding a fragment of the United Kingdom's past, a little piece of luck, history, and beauty, all wrapped into one unforgettable coin. So, next time you stumble upon one in a drawer or a box of old change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a treasure that connects generations and continues to shine, even through the rust of time. Next up, the 1955 UK sixpence coin, a small yet iconic symbol of British heritage that continues to capture the imagination of collectors across the globe. This coin, especially in fine condition, represents not only a tangible fragment of the mid-20th century but also a reminder of the nation's transition and resilience in the aftermath of the Second World War. Holding one of these coins in your hand feels like holding a piece of royal legacy, steeped in decades of cultural significance. The 1955 sixpence was struck during the reign of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, making it one of the earliest issues bearing her youthful portrait. This was a time of renewal, where Britain was redefining itself under a new monarch, and the coinage of the era reflected that freshness and optimism. The obverse of the coin displays the effigy of the young queen, designed by Mary Gillick, a portrait admired for its graceful simplicity and regal poise. It portrays Elizabeth II without a crown, symbolizing a more personal and humanized monarchy. On the reverse, you'll find the Tudor rose at the center, surrounded by the Scottish thistle, Irish shamrock, and Welsh leek, all intricately intertwined under a coronet. This design, crafted by William Gardner, beautifully represents the unity of the four nations under one sovereign, a theme that resonates deeply with British cultural pride. Culturally and historically, the sixpence coin was a significant part of British daily life for centuries, affectionately known as a tanner among the public. By 1955, the coin had already gained a beloved place in British folklore and tradition, from wedding customs where a bride placed a sixpence in her shoe for luck, to Christmas puddings where families would hide one inside for good fortune to whoever found it. This small silver-colored coin carried sentimental value far beyond its monetary worth. It embodied good luck, prosperity, and unity, qualities that made it more than just currency. Even today, it's often given as a keepsake or charm, connecting generations through shared nostalgia. Weighing around 2.83 grams, the 1955 sixpence was composed of cupronickel, an alloy of copper and nickel that replaced silver after 1947 due to post-war cost considerations. Though this change meant it no longer contained precious metal, it didn't reduce its appeal. Instead, its durability ensured many examples have survived in remarkable condition, and finding one in fine condition today is a testament to how well these coins were struck and preserved. One of the most interesting facts about the 1955 issue is that it was part of a short series minted during the early years of Queen Elizabeth's reign, making it a sought-after date for those who collect early portrait coins of Her Majesty. While not excessively rare, coins from this year that remain well struck with clear details and minimal wear do attract strong collector interest. The combination of age, aesthetic charm, and the Queen's first definitive portrait elevates its numismatic value significantly. In terms of rarity, the 1955 sixpence sits comfortably between the common and the collectible categories. Coins in circulation condition can still be found relatively easily, but those preserved in fine or very fine grades are increasingly desirable. Collectors value them for their historical context, artistic merit, and connection to the early years of Elizabeth II's reign. A fine condition piece today may show light where yet retain most of its original luster and sharp design, making it an appealing and affordable entry point for new collectors while still holding strong appreciation potential. When it comes to today's market value, the 1955 sixpence in fine condition typically trades between $3,000 and $6,000, depending on overall eye appeal, surface quality, and demand at auction. Exceptional examples with clearer detailing and minimal toning may command even higher prices among enthusiasts who prefer coins with aesthetic charm and strong historical presence. The demand has steadily risen, especially as collectors seek to complete sets of early Elizabethan coinage, and as nostalgia-driven collecting gains popularity among younger generations. For collectors seeking to acquire or maintain their own 1955 sixpence, there are several tips worth keeping in mind. Always look for coins with strong definition around the Queen's hairline and the national emblems on the reverse. Avoid heavily polished examples, as these can reduce the coin's numismatic integrity. Instead, Prioritize coins with natural patina and even toning, features that show authenticity and long-term preservation. Storing the coin in a dry, temperature-stable environment will also prevent further tarnish and help maintain its value. Provenance and authenticity are key, so purchasing from reputable dealers or certified numismatic platforms is always advisable. In conclusion, the 1955 UK sixpence coin stands as a proud emblem of post-war Britain, a coin that captures both the youthful beginnings of Queen Elizabeth II's reign and the enduring unity of the United Kingdom. Despite its modest size, it holds immense sentimental and cultural weight. Its fine condition examples continue to be in healthy demand, offering collectors not just a slice of history but also a symbol of British resilience, artistry, and tradition. Whether you're a passionate numismatist or simply someone fascinated by the stories behind old coins, the 1955 sixpence deserves a special place in your collection, a small yet shining piece of the past that continues to inspire admiration in today's market. Next up, the 1964 sixpence stands as one of the final issues before the Great Decimalisation reform that transformed the British currency system in 1971, marking the end of an era where shillings and pence dominated the daily lives of the people. What makes the 1964 version so distinctive, particularly the double-shaded variety, is not just its historical context but the intricate craftsmanship and printing variation that gives it a visual depth and a rare charm. The background of this coin traces back to a period of economic steadiness and cultural transformation across Britain. The early 1960s were a time of great optimism, reflected in art, fashion, and even in the small coins that passed through countless hands. Bearing the portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II designed by sculptor Mary Gillick, the obverse displays her regal yet approachable likeness, representing stability and modernity in post-war Britain. On the reverse, the floral emblem designed by William Gardner showcases the unity of the four nations that make up the United Kingdom: the rose for England, the thistle for Scotland, the shamrock for Ireland, and the leek for Wales. Together, they form a striking symbol of national pride. What sets the double-shaded variant apart is its subtle but noticeable shadowing effect, a minting irregularity or over-polish of the die that created a faint outline or doubling appearance around some of the details. This variation, while minor to the untrained eye, is a treasure to collectors, as such minting anomalies are rarely repeated and often become sought after over time. Culturally, the 1964 sixpence embodies an era of British unity and growing prosperity. The coin was often used in traditional customs, especially in weddings, where sixpence was tucked into the bride's shoe as a symbol of luck, wealth, and happiness. Beyond its face value, the coin held sentimental importance across generations, passed down as tokens of good fortune and family heritage. It reminds the modern collector that currency was not merely a means of exchange but a part of British life, interwoven with emotion, superstition, and nostalgia. Even now, those who discover an old sixpence in their attic or family drawer find themselves holding a piece of that rich cultural fabric. The 1964 sixpence weighs approximately 2.83 grams and is composed of cupronickel, a durable and silvery alloy that replaced the earlier silver content. Despite lacking precious metal, it retains a bright, attractive luster when well preserved, and in fine condition, it reflects light beautifully across the detailed floral design. This coin measures 19.41 mm in diameter, making it a small yet elegant piece of mid-20th century craftsmanship. Among key facts that elevate the coin's interest is that 1964 marked one of the last years before the discontinuation of the pre-decimal sixpence denomination, making it one of the last issues familiar to everyday users before Britain transitioned to decimal currency in 1971. While millions were minted, the double-shaded variant and coins in well-preserved or uncirculated condition remain relatively scarce. In the world of coin grading, condition plays an enormous role. A coin showing full detail, minimal wear, and original sheen can drastically increase in desirability. For this particular variant, collectors look for even shading, crisp lettering, and clear definition of the Queen's hair and crown, all of which can add considerable value. Rarity and condition together determine the coin's current standing in the collector market. The double-shaded 1964 sixpence is especially prized because its visual anomaly distinguishes it from the standard issues. While ordinary 1964 sixpence coins may only fetch a few dollars depending on wear, a double-shaded example in fine or better condition can command a significantly higher price. As of today's market trends, a well-preserved 1964 double-shaded sixpence can sell for anywhere between $2,500 to $7,500, and examples in near-mint or uncirculated state might reach upwards of $100 or more at specialized auctions, depending on collector demand and visibility in the numismatic community. This growing interest is driven not only by its rarity but also by nostalgia among British collectors who cherish coins from the pre-decimal age. For collectors seeking to acquire or maintain a 1964 sixpence, a few tips can help preserve its value. Always handle the coin with care. Avoid direct contact with fingers to prevent natural oils from dulling its surface. Store it in a dry, temperature-controlled environment using acid-free holders or coin capsules to avoid tarnish. When evaluating a purchase, inspect for clear definition in the portrait and reverse design, as this indicates less wear and a better strike. It's also advisable to have the coin authenticated by a reputable numismatic expert, especially when dealing with the double-shaded variant, as subtle minting features can easily go unnoticed without professional verification. In conclusion, the 1964 UK sixpence with the double-shaded effect is more than just an old coin, it's a bridge to a pivotal era in British history. It tells a story of a nation on the cusp of change, of traditions kept alive through small tokens of luck, and of craftsmanship that continues to fascinate generations later. Its rarity, beauty, and historical depth make it a gem within the world of coin collecting. As more people rediscover their value and nostalgia for pre-decimal coins grows, the 1964 double-shaded sixpence continues to shine as a small but significant reminder of Britain's rich numismatic heritage and enduring royal legacy. Whether tucked safely in a collector's case or displayed as a conversation piece, it remains a coin of distinction, a modest yet powerful symbol of British pride, history, and timeless value. Next up, the 1958 UK sixpence coin holds a special place among collectors and enthusiasts alike, representing a captivating piece of mid-20th century history that continues to shine, even when time has left its visible mark upon it. A coin from this era, even in dirty or tarnished condition, still tells an incredible story of national pride, craftsmanship, and royal legacy. The sixpence, often affectionately known as a tanner, was once a staple of everyday British life and commerce, and by 1958, it had already earned a loyal place in the hearts of millions across the United Kingdom. Struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, this particular year's issue was produced by the Royal Mint and featured an elegant design symbolic of tradition and stability. The obverse of the coin proudly displays the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by sculptor Mary Gillick, while the reverse features a floral arrangement that beautifully unites the nations of the United Kingdom, the English rose, Scottish thistle, Irish shamrock, and Welsh leek, all intertwined under a royal crown. This thoughtful design celebrated unity and the cultural richness of the British Isles, giving the sixpence far more than just monetary significance. From a historical standpoint, the 1958 sixpence emerged during a period of optimism and change in post-war Britain. The country was rebuilding and modernizing, yet it still clung to its cherished symbols, with coins like the sixpence serving as a quiet reminder of heritage and continuity. Culturally, the sixpence also held a sentimental value that went far beyond its face worth. It was a coin associated with good luck, especially when placed in wedding shoes or Christmas puddings, a tradition still fondly remembered today. This simple silver-colored piece, small yet substantial, embodied both prosperity and blessing in British folklore, a superstition that continues to add charm and desirability for collectors who appreciate the stories behind their coins as much as the coins themselves. Weighing approximately 2.83 grams and measuring around 19.41 millimeters in diameter, the 1958 sixpence was minted in cupronickel, having transitioned from the earlier silver composition after 1947. This change reflected the economic adjustments of the time while ensuring durability and widespread circulation. The coin's resilient metal composition means that even in dirty or aged condition, its details often remain intact beneath the surface, allowing careful cleaning or professional restoration to reveal the intricate artwork once more. Collectors value this resilience highly, as it means that even less than perfect examples can still be meaningful additions to a numismatic collection. In terms of key facts, the 1958 sixpence saw a relatively modest mintage compared to earlier post-war issues, making well-preserved examples increasingly hard to find today. While millions were produced for circulation, far fewer remain in collectible condition, as many were lost, melted, or simply worn down through years of daily use. The presence of Queen Elizabeth II's first portrait also adds another layer of desirability, as coins from the early years of her reign have grown more significant following her long and historic monarchy. In a numismatic market that thrives on nostalgia and rarity, such features give even a dirty 1958 sixpence notable appeal among collectors who seek genuine pieces of British heritage. Rarity and condition are always key determinants of a coin's value, and though a dirty sixpence from 1958 may not sparkle on first glance, it still carries the potential for hidden worth. A professional cleaning, when done correctly, can reveal finer details that elevate its aesthetic and monetary appeal. Even in circulated or aged condition, this coin attracts demand, especially when collectors are looking to complete a date series or own an example from the 1950s, a decade that represents a golden bridge between post-war austerity and the dawn of modern Britain. The charm of the coin lies in its authenticity. Its dirt and tarnish are part of its journey, not defects to be dismissed, but rather marks of time that tell their own story. As of today's market, the 1958 sixpence, depending on its grade and overall eye appeal, can fetch values ranging from a few dollars for heavily circulated or dirty examples, to around $1,500 to $2,500 in better condition. However, the real potential lies in the coin's long-term collectability. With growing interest in mid-century British coins, demand continues to rise among both domestic and international collectors, especially from the United States and Commonwealth nations, where nostalgia for coins of the Queen's early reign remains strong. Well-preserved pieces, or those that can be professionally cleaned without losing detail, may achieve higher prices in private sales or online auctions, sometimes exceeding $3,000 when rarity and presentation align. For collectors, a key tip is to handle such coins carefully and to resist the urge for harsh cleaning methods that might damage the surface or erase fine details. Instead, gentle restoration or leaving the coin as found often maintains or even enhances its value over time. Always store it in a dry environment, preferably in an acid-free coin holder or capsule, to prevent further deterioration. Keeping its natural patina can often be more attractive to serious collectors, as it highlights authenticity rather than artificial shine. Moreover, researching market trends, tracking auction sales, and understanding the grading scale will empower you to make wiser decisions when buying or selling a 1958 sixpence. In conclusion, the 1958 UK sixpence coin, even in dirty condition, is a treasure from a transformative era in British history. It captures a sense of identity, artistry, and continuity that makes it more than just an old piece of money. It is a tangible connection to the past. The value of such a coin extends far beyond dollars and cents. It represents memories, craftsmanship, and the endurance of a nation's culture through its coinage. With rising collector interest and the enduring charm of Queen Elizabeth II's early coins, the 1958 sixpence continues to stand as a small but mighty piece of British numismatic heritage, cherished by those who know that even the most modest coins can hold stories worth far more than their weight in silver or nickel. At last, the UK sixpence coin from the year 1960, presented here in fine condition. This small yet fascinating coin holds a great deal more than its modest face value. It carries within it a story of the United Kingdom's heritage, craftsmanship, and monetary legacy from a time when silver-coloured coins still held pride in people's purses and pockets. The 1966 pence is not merely an old coin. It is a relic from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II's early years, representing the pride and precision of the Royal Mint and the post-war British economy stabilising into modernity. The background of the 1966 pence takes us back to a transformative period in British history. The coin was struck under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, following her coronation in 1953, when Britain was emerging from the austerity of the 1950s. This coin belongs to the pre-decimal currency system, where 12 pence made a shilling and 20 shillings made a pound. The sixpence was considered a practical and beloved denomination used in daily trade, as well as a symbol of good fortune, often tucked into wedding shoes or Christmas puddings for luck. The obverse side features the youthful effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, known for its elegant simplicity and regal poise. The reverse side, designed by William Gardner, displays a crowned floral design incorporating symbols from all four nations of the United Kingdom: the English rose, the Scottish thistle, the Irish shamrock, and the Welsh leek, beautifully uniting the kingdom through artistry and symbolism. Culturally and historically, the 1966 pence stands out as a coin that holds deep sentimental and national value. For many British families, the sixpence was a coin of luck and tradition, exchanged during milestones and celebrations. It reminds collectors of the era before decimalisation, which came into effect in 1971, changing the entire monetary structure of the United Kingdom. The 1966 pence connects us to a bygone world where craftsmanship and symbolism in coin design carried cultural meaning and where the simplicity of a small coin could evoke a sense of identity, nostalgia, and national pride. In terms of physical attributes, the 1966 pence weighs approximately 2.83 grams and is composed of cupronickel, as the use of silver in these coins had been discontinued after 1946. Its diameter measures around 19.41 millimeters, and its milled edge gives it that familiar tactile feel loved by collectors. These details make it both historically authentic and aesthetically pleasing, showing the level of detail and consistency maintained by the Royal Mint during that period. When it comes to key facts and rarity, the 1966 pence is a coin that, while not excessively rare, still holds significant appeal in the collector's world, especially when preserved in fine condition. Millions were minted for circulation, yet few have survived with their details intact due to heavy everyday use. A coin in fine condition means it has light wear, visible features, and retains much of its design clarity, which keeps it desirable for entry-level and seasoned collectors alike. The combination of its age, historical context, and preserved quality makes it an excellent addition to any collection of mid-20th century British coinage. In terms of collector demand and current market value, the 1966 pence in fine condition has gained steady interest over the years, especially as vintage British pre-decimal coins continue to rise in popularity among enthusiasts worldwide. In today's rare coin market, a 1966 pence in fine condition can fetch anywhere from around $2,000 to $500 depending on the exact preservation, demand, and presentation. However, if it is part of a complete pre-decimal set or has exceptional eye appeal, the value can be slightly higher. What truly enhances its worth is its emotional and cultural resonance, as many collectors seek it not just for its price, but for its place in the broader narrative of British numismatics. For collectors, the 1966 pence offers a perfect starting point or a charming addition to an existing collection. To maintain its value, collectors should handle the coin carefully, preferably by its edges, and store it in a protective sleeve or capsule to avoid further wear. Regular cleaning is not advised, as this can reduce its natural patina and, in turn, its desirability. Keeping the coin in fine or better condition ensures that it retains both its aesthetic and historical appeal over the years. The key for collectors is to appreciate the story the coin tells rather than its face value alone, as coins like the 1966 pence serve as tiny time capsules from a defining era in British history. In conclusion, the 1960 UK Six Pence in fine condition remains a wonderful blend of artistry, heritage, and collectability. It stands as a small but significant token of Britain's pre-decimal past, connecting generations through its design and symbolism. While it may not hold an extravagant monetary value, its cultural worth and nostalgic charm make it a true treasure for those who appreciate history in their hands. The growing global interest in British coinage ensures that coins like this will continue to hold steady demand among collectors, making it not just a piece of currency but a piece of living history. So, if you come across a 1966 pence, take a closer look, because within that small, silvery surface lies a fascinating story of a nation, a monarch, and a moment in time that still resonates today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned to World Numismatic Finds for more rare and valuable coin discoveries from around the world.